Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3 in the Great Qing run in 1.9.5. We're in the process of trying to pass laissez-faire. I think if we pass laissez-faire, we should see our economy grow a lot faster. We do have a debt, but we can clear it just by raising taxes. The current government isn't stable enough to do that, but we currently have the current government mainly so we have a better chance at passing laissez-faire. So we'll probably just kick the industrialists out of power to fix the debt once we have laissez-faire, as we're working on protectionism. What to work on next? Could work on artillery. No, I think we'll hold off on artillery. Trading for the artillery isn't too bad right now. It's not like, I think there's an event related to guns, being dependent on foreign guns, that's not necessarily not necessarily an event we want to fire a lot, but okay, if we build up lead, we can begin to swap over the glassworks. To make that worthwhile, how much glass do I... how much lead do I need? We're looking... 10 each, so 260 lead for the first upgrade. So I think that's going to be like 4 lead mines. Because obviously we start them on nitroglycerin and this, so that's 60 plus 72. Yeah, like 4. Those regularly perform maneuvers near the border of Russia. Frame is an accident. Sure. I give some infantry, but they nerfed Russia a little bit. Okay, and then after that, lead change... coal? No, let's do wood. Okay. I wonder, it probably is time to swap to a different tax law. Or, well, somewhere in the process of all the upcoming law changes, we swap to another tax law. Should have the lead to do that. We need to get onto the next glassware PM to swap over to bone china. There we go. Laissez-faire just failed. Okay. That was plausible to always happen. Okay, so I think we're going to kick the industrialists out petite bourgeoisie in. Taxes to very high. And then let's look at our laws. So per capita is still a tax down. Proportional is a really big tax down. It's 30k tax down, whereas per capita is only minus 250. No, it's 25,000. 25,000 down or 30,000 down. Or 300,000 down. So obviously don't want to swap to proportional. There may be an argument to swapping to proportional, because it would in theory buff a bunch of consumption. Let's... Oh, I suppose we could still attempt to push the interventionalism. Because the PDB supports that. Is that enough of an improvement over brainism? Say no. The other one is to get off our isolationism, move to protectionism. No one opposes that. That would open us up to doing a bunch more trade. We gain 50% more trade capacity everywhere that we've already got trading. We gain 10% more tech spread. It would gain more declared interests. We'd lose authority, and we'd lose tax capacity. Yeah, I think we'll swap to protectionism. Nope, we just got breadbasket. I think that's being the world producer in grain and food, which is really easy as the Great Qing. Oh, while also being on homesteading, which is, if you've swapped to homesteading as the Great Qing, it makes it real easy. Okay, so it looks like prosperity in Taiping Mining Company should be looking good. Protectionism's on everyone's lips, that's good. The tech spread plus the tech spread change in the protectionism here will be helping us spread a lot quicker. Yeah, we're going to do dynamite, pump jacks. I'm not sure what we'll do next after pump jacks. A little bit, maybe it'll depend on the spread. Right, depending on what we spread, we might do something specific based off of that. Okay, let's do rifles. We're actually subsidizing rifles, so let's go to the rifle market. We're going to drop export subventions and drop tariffs. If we need guns, let them import guns. We're not going to tax the guns. Right now, we've probably got enough locally that we can export. And same thing here. Drop those to 0. Oh, we're getting a lot of railways privatizing. That's why not a lot of stuff's building right now. We do have railways properly set to privatizing, right? Yeah. Okay, almost there. We're at 65. Give him a couple more weeks, and then we'll start. We'll run another protectorate to a subject, or to a puppet. Yeah, I think once we're done with protectionism, we're gonna very rapidly expand out our trade capacity so we can do a bunch more trading. Right now we're limited to 50 levels in Canton. Got a new mandate. Obviously, it's either going to be militarized industry or vassalization. Before vassalization 3 was pretty weak, because it just gave you decrees on subjects. But now it's giving us 5 more authority per subject, so we are going to take it. I'm not going to take that right away and spend that right away, because we are actually going to lose a bunch when we swap to protectionism. So right now we'll just take it a little bit more enactment time. Okay, we have gold reserves, so we can go ahead and drop the taxes down. Wood's getting cheap. I suspect wood is not going to get cheap enough that we're going to not want to... Or that we're going to be worried about how cheap it is, I suppose. I think this is pretty much all the wood queued up at this point, so... Other than a little bit than the construction efficiency balance, and actually, minus 4%, so not that bad. Hopefully this passes soon, so we can move on to the next law. Which is maybe pushing closer and closer to being tax law change. Now at the point where per capita would actually be a tax revenue increase. And that's going to get bigger as we do even more industrialization. I think we probably have the explosives to do the swap, I think, to dynamite. Yeah, probably. We do see the industrialists are getting more powerful, which is good to see. There's the dynamite tech. A big one, because we're China and we have access to some a good bunch of plantation resources, is automated irrigation. Dynamite will kick in right away as well. There we go. That's also got dynamite to a more appropriate price. So we should hopefully see productivity of the corporation go up, and we do. It's good to see. Oh, and we are getting a tech spread here, so we've significantly increased our tech spread at this point. Okay, what law do we want to go for next? Land-based, I think, would be... Yeah, land-based would increase our revenue again. Or swapping off the land-based to per capita would increase our revenue once again. We may have problems later trying to get off of per capita onto proportional, but we'll do the swap. Oh, and the other thing we want to now add to the queue, really big time, is trade centers, trade centers, trade centers. Yeah, everywhere we've got 10,000 unemployed, just give us 10 trade centers. And the rest of the wood camps can wait. This is the era for trade from Qing. There we go. Yeah, we'll take the road decrees back. And then I might do a little bit of manipulation here. Okay, we can get one more tax. Okay, looks like a luxury furniture tax. Way to go right now. You want trade privileges, pay us a bunch of money. Okay. Bunch of trade capacity. I'm surprised we're not getting any trading yet with the new trade capacity here. One thing I might do temporarily to inspire a bunch of trade is basically do a tariff holiday. On most things. basically temporarily swap over the proverbial free trade. Without actually being on free trade. Especially the luxuries. There, we would like people to buy the luxuries from us. Or at least let us export them to the people. Okay, we got that set to 0. I think we're going to set these to 0. I've actually set on a little bit of subversion for guns, but we'll drop that back to 0 for the moment. Well, apparently we're not even using our full trade capacity. That's interesting. Maybe not a great sign. You want me to build in you. Okay. Well, I have a defensive pact with a reasonably powerful person now, so I'm now a little less feeling I need it from France. We are paying them per month, so I think it's time to withdraw from this treaty. And then if we can we... Oh, it's showing the last one that we had up. 75 by paying them. Let's look at that. Okay, 75 by paying them. So as I could agree to a defensive pact for my state back. Yeah, let's agree to a defensive pact for my state back. That works. And for my treaty port back. There we go. There's the labor movement. Doesn't really change anything yet by itself. Though in theory that makes the trade unions a lot more strong. So we might see the rise of the trade unions soon. Okay, per capita is still some tax increase. Vacuum canning. Okay, that was... I guess that's what just spread first from Tier 3. That's... We'll have to see if we've got enough oil. We have a supply of 238 oil, and enacting vacuum canning everywhere will more than consume that. What we can do is we can start enacting it and see how the oil changes in some places. Oops. Do I actually want to provide military assistance to them? Maybe. I'm surprised this one's still here at this point, because we've drawn from it. Cannot remove... Oh, because they're great power. That's fine. Okay. So the treaty port of that can't disappear, but yet we've taken the treaty port back from them. Yeah. It's functionally gone even though it isn't gone. Okay. Okay, oil went up, but it didn't go up enough for this to be a serious issue. So at this point, I think we can just swap the rest over. And not have a complete oil shortage? No. There's per capita. So yeah, dropping obviously back to land tax would be negative. No one actually supports moving over to proportional, but that'd also be a negative for negative 2,000. Okay, let's move to migration controls. We'll trigger The... Oh, there's Krakatoa going off. Trigger the missionaries. And then we can go ahead and buy Macau back from Portugal. I think we can do what we just did to France and actually just negotiate for the territory back. State transfer. Macau. Yeah, they're really opposed to that, but like they'd take a defensive pact. Actually, they wouldn't take a defense. Well, yeah, pretty close to the defense pact. They'd probably take a monetary transfer as well. Oh, they're still considering the previous one. We'll give them a bit. Yeah, they guess the Pope just disappeared? Yeah, two Sicilies just integrated the Pope. Okay. Oh, we got a royalist in charge of the rural folk. Good to see. Are you still pondering that treaty? No. Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and trigger the missionary crisis. We'll buy that off of them, and then that should allow us to clear the missionary crisis. Slowly working through getting all our getting all our protectorates to puppets. So as I could sort by subject type, see. Oh, we got one last protectorate to go. Good to see. No, Cambodia, we're saying no. That's one of the reasons I'm waiting for it to get down to 64, so they couldn't be asking for freedom. Well, asking for more autonomy after I take it away from them. Don't necessarily see agreeing with supports permanently. Oh, I suppose that's one problem we've got going on. A lot of the trade centers we're building are not profitable, so we're subsidizing trade that isn't actually good. Okay. Maybe opened up the market a little too much. New mandate. Yeah, we'll give Grand Militaries 3. Reinforced wing poles. Okay. That's shipbuilder upgrade. Okay. So our biggest import is iron. So we may want to build up our iron. But it's obviously it's going to transition very rapidly, I think, over to engines. So we'll probably just be building engines soon. With pump jacks coming online here. Okay, what's our capacity to accept more engine use? We can accept just short of 200 more engines being used. So that would be more than 200 in one go. Okay. So we'll do the small ones first. That's probably already more than we can afford. Yeah. Okay, but the market quickly picks that up. Urban-wise, building engines. 40 a pop. So we want like 15 more motor industries. Let's go ahead and put 16 there. Push them to the top, and then I'll just push the partially built logging camps up as well. There we go, there's the Chinese missionary works. And then we'll turn around, call up Macau, or call up Portugal. Hey Portugal, we'd like you to give us Macau. Oh, we're gonna have 200 more authority. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop taxes temporarily, that works. What's the engines looking like? I think we've got space for another, like, 400. Just swap over, so we'll swap for the dies. I'm thinking I'm going to do is let's actually raise tariffs on the imports. Slow them down a little bit. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is actually the first time I've had this situation happen. Let's just say. Okay, this is technically a defensive war for us, so apparently we can call our allies in. So I think they ended up having the heavily kingdom problem because I didn't. We obviously pissed off the Protestants, and then I think Krakatoa didn't help. Okay, it looks like we're winning. Yeah, it does look like we're winning. Yeah, I think we just need to occupy Eastern Guangdong here. And they should basically be willing to surrender. Oops. Want to annex the Heavenly Kingdom? Yes. Not be annexed by them. That would be a good way to very rapidly lose the game. There we go. It's a blockade. The fact that we're blockading ourselves is maybe not the best of things, but... yeah, we'll show mercy. Taxes are high, but deficit's worse. Probably because all the subsidies kicking in. Yeah, mostly the trade centers. Okay. Importing a lot of merchant marine. Okay. Well, that's probably what we should work on building then. Is this all incorporated? Yes. Okay. Oh, we passed our law, obviously. Land-based would still... Okay, so we are on the right tax law. Do I attempt... Modernizer? It's not really on the right faction, though. Do I attempt to bring someone into government again? Get on laissez-faire. That would very much be a slow roll, trying to get laissez-faire passed, because of the enactment time modifier. Yeah, let's try again. Yeah, and one of our big costs is the subsidies on the trade sector. Which either means I need to stop subsidizing the trade sector, or I need to improve their cost effectiveness. Or some combination of both. Oh, and the armed forces stop being profitable, or powerful. And of course, the Civil War has totally screwed up the Army and the Navy. The organization. Okay, so fix some of that stuff. In some ways this is saving money, some way this is costing money, but we don't want to make the unemployment issue worse in China, so let's focus on okay, let's drop most of the subsidies for the moment. Same with the mines, let's drop most of the mine subsidies. The lumber mill subsidy. I think the only one we're going to keep going is these ones. We're importing 150% of what we're using. Yeah, we should fix that. That is actually just building ports, I suppose. Each port makes 10 merchant marine. And we have a shortage that we're currently dealing with trading, or generating by trading, of 1.3 thousand. Okay, so 10 is 100. I need 100 and, let's say, 30 ports. Okay. Okay. Do something like that. Yeah, these that are close to finishing we'll keep working on, but most of the lung camps are going to get delayed. You know what? How much will the Paris Commune support will pay us for that military assistance? Barely any, okay. It's not something they're willing to pay money for, apparently. Like, they're really on board with it, just not paying for it. Okay, well, we might as well just give it to them, because... And we'll take trade privileges off of them for it. At least the ports are profitable. Things that we're building are profitable. Yeah, needless to say, the Civil War is not good for economic growth. A bunch of devastation and turmoil down here. And the turmoil is getting worse, because of course it is. Nations are starting to stabilize. All the subjects are now puppets. Where's Persia on this list? They're down here. Yeah, not at the point where they'll accept. Impact the demand, willingness to be annexed at 22 Liberty Desire. There we go. GDP is starting to come back up again. Yeah, so I think we need to discourage imports, encourage exports. And we should see the GDP shoot up. Economies of scale, shift work done, that's good. Reinforced concrete. And once again, while I think this has kind of been an unpredictable episode because of the whole Civil War and trying to get trade going is not quite going according to plan, the laissez-faire offset also set it up. I'm hoping that laissez-faire, when we do get it, will help a lot. But I think this is where we're going to go ahead and put the part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. We're going to record one more part today. It's still active for the moment. That one we're getting closer and closer to being active. We'll see if we can get inactive. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break where I go make a cup of tea, and then we'll be back to trying to get the GDP in the Great Qing to go up. At this point, there really shouldn't be any crises happening. It just comes down to getting the economy fixed. So until next time, wish you all the best of luck and good time. Catch you all in the next one, and bye for now.